I'm Ellen Dixon, and this is my first show as mayor of Summit. Over the last 6 months, we've had a couple of terrifically difficult storms in Summit, and I thought about more and more about how we communicate with our citizens. And for that reason, today I've invited on to my first show, we have our Fire Chief Joe Hauk, we have our Police Chief Robert Weck, and we have our Department of Community Services Head Beth Kinney. And they each have a role in communicating with the public. And I'd like to start off with Chief Hauk. You control the 911 dispatch in the firehouse. We are going to a joint dispatch. Would you care to talk about that and when it's appropriate to call 911 in the fire department and when another avenue maybe should be used?
Sure. I'm excited about the current opportunity that we're taking a look at a proposed combined emergency services dispatch center in New Providence, and that will be a joint center for Berkeley Heights, New Providence, Millburn, and Summit. And it's a great opportunity because all 4 communities at a juncture where their 911 equipment is coming to the end of its useful life. So there's a significant cost to replace all of that equipment. So it gives us the opportunity to bring all those things together and then bring all the dispatchers together, because most people probably don't realize, but 911 is answered in the firehouse, and if it's a fire call, it's handled in-house by the fire dispatcher. If it's a police call, it's transferred to the police department for the police department to send appropriate units. And if it's a medical emergency, it's transferred to Overlook Hospital's dispatch center. So it's kind of crazy that we have 3 separate dispatch centers for emergency services. And what that'll do, not only bring the services in Summit together, but it'll bring the 4 communities together. We'll have the synergy of all the dispatchers working together. We'll be able to leverage our resources to buy technology that we wouldn't have if the centers were separate. So it's a great opportunity. I know people are very nervous about change. Change is always tough. People are very concerned about farming out their dispatch to a different center. I have to look back 20 years to some of my predecessors. Summit has been dispatching the Millburn Fire Department since 1985, and way back when, everybody was always concerned, will Summit dispatch the Millburn Fire Department like they do the Summit Fire Department? And I can happily say that they do. So it's an exciting opportunity for us. Just as I was getting ready to leave, we had I think 3 medical emergencies in a row into 911, and the dispatcher had to send to the police and to CENTCOM for medical and police dispatch. So we have 3 separate dispatchers sending a police car, fire trucks, and an ambulance to the same location, where one dispatcher could do that, hitting 3 separate buttons if we were in a combined center.
And really the equipment is at the end of its useful life also. It's really you're putting it together with chewing gum and Band-Aids at this point, correct?
Well, I don't want anyone to get alarmed, but
True.
it is a challenge to keep that equipment up and running, and it is a full-time job, so it would be terrific to bring everybody together in a combined center. And we always tell people, as far as calling 911 for an emergency, obviously I can't speak for the police department, but any fire emergency, please feel free to call 911. We're there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and we'll send somebody out to investigate it. And if it is a non-emergency, we'll transfer it to one of our business lines and conduct a call and complete all the information we need to.
Oh, thank you. Now, Chief Weck, you're 3 months into the job.
Correct.
And we're certainly very happy to have you. You're more into communications. Can you tell us more about the Nixle and the Red Alert, the reverse 911? Are our citizens signing up for Nixle?
We had Nixle a year ago, and then it was put on hold for a while Nixle, the company, was working it out. At the end of that period, we had about 500 subscribers. And then once we re-upped the contract, and since the last storm, where we used it quite a bit, today I checked, we're over 2,200.
Oh.
So the word is getting out. It takes about 30 seconds. You go on Nixle.com, and you just put in your phone number if you want texts, your email, and then you can check off what you want to receive, whether it's community advisory information, maybe about a special event, and road closures, all the way up to if there's a serious crime that's taken place or something that we need help, or we want to get the word out. So it's a great program, and we'd love to see more and more people just keep signing up.
Well, that's a pretty good rate, though, because that's probably 20% of our households now, or
We're getting
25%.
there.
I noticed if you go on the website, you can see all the Nixle alerts that you might have missed. Like if you're looking for a pattern or something that might have been happening in the community, you can look at the old alerts and see.
And that is a great thing, because then you can go back and see some different history of how it's been used. I also when I talk with like SDI, tell your merchants they may not live in Summit, but sign up. So then they'll know of some things that are going on prior to them arriving for the day, whether it's a road closure or something like that. So it's not just for people that live in Summit.
How could we have used it during the October storm? I know towns use it to different levels. Your town that you live in, Madison, I think sent out quite a few Nixle alerts. We didn't have the numbers signed up at that point, but do you think in the future we'll be using it a lot more? Can people in a bad storm expect updates 2 to 3 times a day, or hourly, or once a day? What do you think?
Yes, I mean, we can use it as much as we want, whether it's to boil water, stay inside, road closures, different things. And the nice part about it is if you sign up for just email and you don't have power, it'd be better if you signed up as well for on your smartphone or your just regular cellular phone as text, because you'll still get almost like a Twitter type thing, a small sentence or two, giving you some information. And then you can go online and read the whole article.
Yeah, people really have to think about what's the best way to contact them, and what if there is no electricity? What if there is a power outage? In that sense, texting would work. And I still worry about the residents who don't have any of these things. I'm not sure what we do other than have neighborhood watches and people to check on neighbors, but it's something maybe we can work on. Maybe not with the police department, but it is hard to figure out how to get to everybody in the community. What about through the schools? Do they have their own alert system?
They do, and during that storm we worked hand in hand with Dr. Nathan Parker, the superintendent, on the Halloween issue. You know, for safety with all the hanging tree, branches and down wires. We wanted to make sure everybody was safe, so we worked hand in hand with them, contacting, because they have a great phone system, email system, text system. So, and working together with them, we were able to hit a lot more residents. And then you also have Code Red.
Yeah, explain Code Red and how that works.
Code Red was one of the first systems that we had here in Summit, and that was historically used for just major events, whether it was major power outages or storms, different events that really we could put out to the whole community as a whole. Both systems, Nixle and Code Red, are on our website, our new website, that you can go on and link to the sites to sign up. So, I would ask everybody that should do that for Code Red and Nixle. So Code Red isn't as used as much as a Nixle would be in the day-to-day events going on in Summit.
Do you think you have an access to just about every home in Summit through Code Red because it's through the phone lines? Or?
It is, from what I believe, goes to everybody. But still sign up for secondary homes. Make sure your neighbors, talk with your neighbors. Maybe they haven't signed up, help them. You had talked about checking on neighbors. We're going to, in the police department, the community policing unit, we're going to start the Neighborhood Watch program again.
Oh, good.
Because we really want the neighbors, our success is going to be working with the citizens. So, and that's a neighbor being a good neighbor to each other.
Okay, great. I was involved in one in my old neighborhood, and that they had really declined in use, but I think it's a good idea. Everybody should know their neighbors and know what's going on next door, I think. Now, Beth Kinney just did a presentation to City Council on the new website, and can you tell us when the new website was rolled out, and maybe we have some slides so we can show people what's available on the website?
Yes, we rolled it out in, I think it was early fall, and we upgraded it to provide the community with more information. We had a state-of-the-art website when it was launched a number of years ago, but there's new technology that allows us now to update our own website and that kind of thing. So we have a lot of information on it now, and then all of the departments are adding information as we go along. So we, each of the departments has their own page. So both police and fire have their page. And since we're kind of talking about emergency services, we do on the homepage have the a button that is emergency services notification. If you click on that, you go straight to the emergency services page where you can sign up for Code Red. Also on the bottom right-hand corner, you have an automatic sign up for Code Red or for Nixle. You can click on there and it will take you right to the page. But we have a lot of different information on there in terms of the ordinances, meeting notices, we have upcoming events, and news, and then each department also puts their own information on, as I said. A couple of interesting things. We're trying to go more two-way. The other website was very much one-way, and trying to give people more information that they can use. So we have something called FAQs, which are frequently asked questions. You can go on and ask different questions. It says, how do I, but if you want to know your garbage schedule or some questions about fire, there are hundreds of them in there now, and we're adding them all the time based on what people are asking. Another thing we have is a work order system. So if you see a pothole or that kind of thing, you can go on the work order system and do a service request. And there's a button on the homepage that shows service requests.
We have online payments, correct? For
Yes,
some.
there are some. Community Programs for a long time has had an online registration system, and that is accessible through the website as well. And that's been around for a long time. Parking Services has some online payment systems. Tax is going to more and more, and they have some interesting information and reminders about taxes, and they're building a toolkit so that they're going to try and have as much information as they can for people. The budget information, we're entering into the budget cycle, and so that information will be up on the website as well.
I know the Finance Committee is looking at a way, we just haven't found the right system yet to make your tax payments online.
Right.
And so we're still working on that, but certainly say if I redid a kitchen and I want to have it re-inspected, I can go on the website and order an inspection.
We're not there yet. That's
Okay.
one of the things that we will be doing. Those still are by call. But a lot of the forms that are needed for zoning applications and some of those things are online now. We'd love in the next couple of years to have information about, so that you could check on the status of your permit and those kinds of things. But the technology in the municipal arena isn't there yet, so we don't have that yet. But we are hoping to go with an online paperless meeting, which people would be able to go up and look at the agendas and see what's going on with council meetings, which would be kind of neat.
Well, Beth and I were in the Environmental Commission meeting the other night, and they did go paperless. So that's the route the city will be taking. What about separate pages for every department? I know I'd like to have my own website tied into the city website. I think we're going to be working on that. But you can go and click onto the police's
Right.
page.
You can, this is the police's page, and they have information about 911 and all kinds of different things. I don't know if you want to mention a couple of the different.
It does, like you had mentioned, Beth. There's a lot of drop downs where whether it's a police report, alarm registration, fingerprints for firearm permits and licenses, and same thing with it talks about our different bureaus and divisions, what they do, who to contact. So it's great that you can go onto the city's main webpage and then shoot off to different ones and ask different questions. So really hats off to your staff, because it's really a great resource.
Well, it was fun to see how each of the different departments really took to their own page and customized it and put really good information in, or continuing to do it. There's also quite a bit about on the fire page as well.
How could we adapt this for if we actually had a Summit app on the smartphones? I mean, I think it would be a slightly different technology. What someone might want on a smartphone out of the website might be different from what someone on a laptop would want. It's all evolving.
Yes, it is, and we do have the capability of making some adjustments to our website so that it's very easy to use on a smartphone. And I have a quote. We just have to find the funding for that if we decide to go forward with it. But they have the capability of taking it, and I guess what they do pretty much is streamline it. So when you go on, you can just click and see. So it's not as sort of picture intensive as ours is.
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Welcome. I understand you need a little help with your mortgage. Want to avoid foreclosure. Smart move. Candy? Well, you know, you're in luck. We're experts in this sort of thing. Mortgage, rigmarole, whatnot.
Really?
Absolutely. And we guarantee results, you know, for a small fee, of course. Such are the benefits of having a professional on your side. Why don't we get a contract? Who wants a contract?
Here you go, Pete.
Thanks, Betty.
Write a toner.
Sign it. Come on, sign it. Families around the country every single day, saving homes.
We will talk it over with.
If you're facing foreclosure, make sure you're talking to the right people. Speak with HUD-approved housing counselors free of charge at 888-995-HOPE.
Hi, I'm Ellen Dixon, Mayor of Summit. If you're just joining us, I'm here with Chief Hauk, who just celebrated his 25th year with the Summit Fire Department, Chief Bob Wack, who just is in his 3rd month as police chief, and Beth Kinney, who's in her 6th year as head of Department of Community Services. And for the second half of the show, we thought we'd explore the influence of social media on the city and its departments and how we can use it in the future. Before I came over here, I tweeted my 1,000th tweet saying that I'm working on communications. I think it's a valuable tool, and it's kind of fun being mayor, tweeting that I'm going over to City Hall to do a wedding, or I'm heading over to the Arboretum for cleanup day. But it's just one tool of many, and it's a way to refresh a website. I do have my own website that I hope to connect to the city's website. I'm on Facebook. I use it as a mayor's page. I only pretty much put on information about the City of Summit, positive things about the City of Summit. So please friend me on Facebook. I'd really appreciate it. And Chief Hauk, do you think there's a role for the fire department in social media? It doesn't have to be. I mean, just curious.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's an opportunity and something that we'd like to get into someday. So right now we're just taking some steps toward the city's improved website. I got to, again, thank Beth and her staff for what they've done to get this initiative moved forward. Many of the questions that our department gets on a regular basis are more of the fire prevention and inspection type issues. And we're fortunate to have a lot of this information that we need on our website, a lot of the forms that the businesses or new residents want to get, and alarm registration information is all available on the city's website. So that's what we're focusing on now. Again, we would like to, get involved more with Facebook. I know the FMBA, the Firefighters Union, is involved with that, with their trading card program, which
I love that program.
was out not too long ago, which was a terrific program. And I know they're doing a great job with their Facebook page to keep residents updated on what the FMBA is doing in the community.
Right, and then
So
you got the
that's-
chemical fire engine fundraiser. So
Yeah, absolutely. That partnership with the Summit Historical Society to try to find a new home for our chemical engine. So that's a great opportunity. Thanks.
Chief Wack, how about you? Maybe
Sergeant Mitchell did a great job in establishing our Facebook page, and he updates it whenever there's articles, or whether it's on the police department or some of our history. He put on our patch and the history behind it. So he's done a great job with that, and we want to keep growing that because we really think that people do want to know about who we are, how we've evolved over the years as a department within the city. So the Facebook is a big part of it. Nixle's a big part of it. But social media, I think there's just so many different aspects that we can use, even in enforcement investigations going forward. So we're looking forward to the challenge.
Well, I know, even on my website, I try to do Fact of the Week, and it's interesting just for me to dig through Summit's history and talk about the French ovens that were at the municipal golf course that fed Washington's troops. I mean, you can really... This is a fairly transient town. People move in, moving out. They may not know the history, so I think the history of the police department and what you're talking about would be a great idea. How about with community policing? Does it tie in at all there?
Community policing, which is a new unit within the police department, and is manned by Sergeant Martin, and then we have 2 officers that are going to do DARE through that, but then they're also going to be downtown. They're going to be going to all the merchants, and we're going to use electronic tablets to have them update their emergency contact information. So that then we can share with the fire department, so we're not doing the same thing, and we'll have it all electronically. So we're saving paper, time, so that's going to be a great initiative this spring that we're going to roll forward. But community policing is going to use a lot of electronic devices, social media going forward.
Good, good.
And then we do have a Facebook page for the City of Summit, which most of the departments are using, and we are actually going to be putting some of the tips that the fire department has sent over, and so we'll have tips going out from different departments. We will have information, and I'm really looking from the community to see what kinds of things they would like to have on it. As you were talking about the Fact of the Week and your history, it might be fun to have some of the committees like the Historic Commission, the Arts Committee, to put some information on as well. The Environmental Commission has completely filled out their summit. They have a section of the Summit website, so you can get all kinds of neat information about environmental issues on the website. Maybe having some of that information go out by Facebook. And we have a Twitter account, but we have not really started using it at this point. I think we need to make a decision of exactly what we're going to use it for, because I think it's important to have Nixle be the primary, emergency and what's going on in town. And then we have to start doing Twitter. We'll be gearing up for our spring construction cycle, and we've got a number of the roads projects that are going on, so it might be good. I was driving by and noticed that Ashland Road has begun the drainage part of the project, so it might be good to give a daily update on Twitter, that kind of thing. So.
Well, Twitter may not be the best vehicle. It may just be email alerts, but I think we have to sort through all of this media and figure it out. Summit Downtown Inc. now has a very good website, and maybe is it tied into our city website? I'm not
We
sure.
have links to it, and they have links to ours, and I did want to say that those who haven't already should like all of these Facebook pages, City of Summit Police, the City of Summit, and yours is
Ellen Dixon. Yeah, no, I think it would be great. I know if you go to my webpage, you get the instant updates from the Patch, Alternative Press, NJ.com. It's all very. Unfortunately, I think our print media is. I won't say falling behind, but they're having a harder and harder time. I know the Independent Press has told me that they don't think they can devote more than one article a week to Summit, there's a lot that happens in 1 week in Summit, so I think we really have to move to the next phase of the electronic media and see where it takes us. Anything you want to say in wrapping up? Anything that I've not mentioned here?
No, I just it wouldn't, again, echo what everyone else has said about encouraging everyone else to sign up with their cell phones for Code Red and for Nixle.
Maybe figure out what the best method for you to be informed about what's going on. We're just heading into the winter. There could be some winter storms coming that we don't know about, but find the best way for the city to contact you and make sure you have that system. Before we close, I'd like Beth to talk about the community survey that's going out. I think they're in the mail right now, and it was funded by the Summit Area Public Foundation, and we want to hear what services the citizens of Summit really want their tax dollars to go towards. And it's an important survey. If you get one, please fill it out and send it back, and the results will be in April.
You did a very nice job giving a summary about it, Ellen. It is a community survey, as Ellen said, that was funded by SAPF, and it asks a large number of questions about all different services that you receive, what's important to you in Summit, and I know Common Council and the mayor are looking at these results as they go forward in planning what we do with the tax dollars, which I think is very critical. I think 1,200 are going out, and they're really hoping to get as high a return rate as possible. So if, as Mayor Dixon said, if you get it, it would be great if you could fill it out and return it. It's really important for the community.
And in the meantime, I'm Ellen Dixon, and I'm looking for a name for my new show. It's the Mayor's Show, and contact me with something different and interesting, and I need some theme music too. We got to come up with some new theme music. But thanks everybody for watching today, and thank you three for joining me on my first show.
Thank you.
Thank you.